Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest Raptor of all time, Kyle Lowry, has officially retired as a Toronto Raptor. The press conference was today, and it was something to behold. It was very interesting, very, very nice, a little emotional at the same time. And, there was a whole bunch of different pieces of media released around this whole Kyle Lowry returning to retire with the Toronto Raptors. But one video that came out was very brief, was from the Toronto Raptors page that I'm going to play for you guys here, just to sum everything up very quickly before I get into this a little bit. And it won't be a long show. It doesn't need to be. But I will talk about the time that Kyle Lowry spent as a Raptor and the impact that he's had on the organization and the city when it comes to basketball for the Toronto Raptors. So I'm going to play this for you very, very quickly here. Bingo. And that was it. So, Kyle Lowry was there. It was a Q&A. They gave some, questions to him. He got to answer everything that was there. But, I just want to get into what Kyle Lowry actually means. So, for me personally, Kyle Lowry was pretty much everything that you were looking for in terms of a leader. When he was brought into the Toronto Raptors, he pretty much changed the way that not just the city, but kind of the way the NBA looked at the Toronto Raptors, because when he got there, this organization started to win. It's not necessarily just about numbers, and there are a bunch of numbers and stuff that we can look at, and maybe we will take a look at some of the numbers here, but it's not really just about the numbers. It's about the overall impact, right? That it's the overall impact that he had while he was wearing a Raptors uniform. And on top of that, obviously, we know that things wouldn't hit the same necessarily if he didn't get that championship in 2019, which he did. But that's just kind of like an icing on the cake kind of moment, right? And he did play well for a season or two after that as well, until he was officially out of a Toronto Raptors uniform. But overall, like I mentioned, not just the numbers here. This is about the impact that he made on this city and the leadership that he brought. That's the difference with Larry. You look at all the different numbers that he has, and we can look at it just a little bit, and I'll share the screen with you. But like I mentioned, to even say it was really about this, it was not. We all know what it was about. Anybody who watched it, anybody who went through it, anybody who saw the games, saw the impact, you have the feeling still within you of when you were watching those playoff series, right? So 3-point field goal attempts, 3-point field goals, assists, obviously, 3-pointers made. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And these are just Toronto Raptors career leaders. As you could see, there's DeRozan for a bunch as well. Chris Bosh for some. You'll see Kyle Lowry here on a bunch of these as well, as you just continue to scroll down and look at some of the numbers and impact. Offensive win shares, a very big one. Defensive win shares, and it just keeps going. But like I mentioned, regards, even beyond all of this, right? Beyond all of this stuff. Okay, pause. Enough of you. Okay? Enough of you. Excuse me. Beyond all of that, the feeling you have inside watching the Raptors win that championship in 2019. This is about, and it can be emotional for some people when you talk about what Kyle Lowry actually means to the Raptors organization, because it's about And for anybody who's watching, you guys know what I'm talking about. Get in the chat if you can, get in the comments, and just let me know overall, whether it be now or after this video is done. It's about the heart. It's about the love. It's about leadership. It's about learning. It's about the relationships that you have with your other players. It's all of those things mixed into one. It's about winning. It's about how you play the game. All of these different things combined in totality, right? Communication. It's about the fans. It's about all of those different things. It's about watching the ups, watching the downs, watching these guys on a high, watching Lowry on a low. I remember the game where Kyle Lowry, I remember the first game. Remember when we got Kawhi Leonard and the playoffs just started? We were going up against the Orlando Magic in the first round. And don't get me wrong, we absolutely crushed them. I think it was like 4-1, but we ended up losing that first game. Kyle Lowry played terribly. I remember it's watching these. I mean, watching them get swept against the Wizards, watching them the first time when I first started working in broadcasting for the Raptors broadcast team. The first year I started was when we went up against the Brooklyn Nets. I believe it was in 2014. And we went 7 games against Brooklyn and ended up losing that series at home. And that's when this entire thing began here. I think at that moment, right, you started to learn and understand that, okay, maybe we have something here. Maybe this guy, Kyle Lowry, right, with his leadership, you had DeMar DeRozan and you had Amir Johnson, and you had the crew, the young crew before it developed and evolved into what it was. But even from back then, you looked at the leadership of a guy like Kyle Lowry and you said, maybe there's something here with him. And I know over the years, we've seen an enormous amount of disappointment when it became to that tandem of Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan always running up against, LeBron and things not going your way. And honestly, understandably so. I mean, LeBron, especially when the Raptors were going up against him in his prime, just an absolute juggernaut. And there was, I mean, maybe you could have made it. No, there's nothing you could have done. Honestly, not with the way that the roster was going up against LeBron at that time. He was too much. The guy was just an absolute freight train, a tank. There was, I mean, you went toe-to-toe in the Eastern Conference Finals. You lost in 6. But he was just an absolute nightmare. And as heartbreaking as it was for some people to see DeMar DeRozan go and Kawhi Leonard come in, it was a necessary change if you were going to win that championship with or without LeBron James in the East. Let's just call it what it is. We know that is the truth. I'm sorry, but it is. Kyle Lowry, even after you make the move for Ibaka, right? You get Norman Powell through drafting and Siakam and Fred VanVleet, OG, and you get Marc Gasol. If I didn't already mention him, you bring in Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green. I mean, talk about a hell of a squad, right? And yes, his production was there when that team was in. He played well in the regular season, played well in the playoffs. And even before Kawhi Leonard was here, yes, he was playing well. But that play kept on going when Kawhi Leonard was brought in. I'll get to some of your comments in just a second. What up, Superfan Mo, AshY4TW, Chris Myers in the building. What's going on as well? So all of these things here matter like hell. All right, they really do. And that's why I say, when you play basketball, you play any sport, it's not just about a skill level or a talent level, because What do we say about Larry? He's the GOAT, the greatest Raptor of all time. We don't necessarily say that he's necessarily the most talented Raptor of all time. We don't say that he's necessarily the most skilled Raptor of all time. You know what I'm saying in regards to his play on the court. But all those other things that I mentioned to you in totality, effort, taking charges all the time, being a communicator, showing us what he can do defensively and leading by example, diving on the floor, putting his body on the line, playing through injuries when he's hurt, just doing all the little things, getting on someone's ass if he has to, being a quote unquote jerk if it was the necessary thing to do. Sometimes it is when you're a leader. You got to roll up on guys and get in their face, be on their ass, say, what the hell are y'all doing? It's necessary at times. And Kyle Lowry was somebody who was always willing to do what had to be done. Coachable, like I mentioned, even through the bad times, never complained, bitched, and whined about anything. Punched in, had his lunch bag, put on his hard hat, had his coffee mug, and got the job done. And it's crazy because, you know, you look at these guys, right? Like a Kawhi Leonard, the DeMar DeRozans, the Vince Carters, the Chris Bosches, talent, skill, all of that kind of stuff. And that stuff is wonderful. You need it, obviously, to win games and to win a championship. The team that we had was very highly skilled and talented. Fundamentals were down, really tough defensively, very good communication. But Larry is just that guy who can hold and keep everything together for you. Right? He's the guy you can lean on. He's the guy that you could talk to, share your grievances. He can be that liaison between the coaches and the players. He was just that dude, tough as nails from Philly. There's just no replacing a guy like that. There's no replacing a dude like that. It just isn't. And so everybody here is forever grateful for one Kyle Lowry. If you didn't already hear, his jersey will obviously be retired in the Raptors this season coming up, which is absolutely wonderful. So, you know what I didn't do so far? What I didn't do, damn it, is I didn't drop one for him. Nope, that was halfway done. Let's do it again. There we go. And I know this is in the middle of the day. People are at work. We kind of get how this is. Whoever's watching this right now, I'm gonna drop one for you too. All right, and I'll look in the chat just a little bit. Coming up, Ash White, I 4TW, $5 in the super chat, which I do appreciate. I'm gonna drop one for you as well. And like I mentioned, this won't be a long show. I will wrap this thing up very, very soon. But I mean, my gosh, seeing Kawhi Leonard there as well was really cool to see him in the building after becoming a Toronto Raptor again. And I'm not sure you guys saw Bobby Webster talking about Kyle Lowry, but he looked like he was, I wouldn't say look like he was going to cry or anything like that, but he did look a little emotional talking about Kyle Lowry. So that was pretty cool to see as well. And, you know, when you watch Bobby, he really doesn't have any emotion. He's actually really monotone and pretty boring when you talk to him. So it was nice not to see him emotional or anything like that, but to just see some type of feeling or something in him, which was nice. But he didn't make it about him. When Kyle Lowry got onto the stage, he did walk and get up. I think Kyle wanted him to stay, but it was nice that he got up and just gave him the stage for himself. Shout out to Mr. Lowry's wife as well for all the sacrifice that all of these players' wives and partners have to make while they are on the road and constantly traveling, all that stuff as well. So I think we should give a big shout out to all the partners, ladies, wives, all that kind of stuff. We will do that. Also, if you didn't already see so, Kyle Lowry and his wife, I want to get her name for you. because where is it? So Ayana, Cornish, Lowry. So they have now been welcomed to the Toronto Tempo ownership group as well. So one more. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. So that's going to even tie them to the city deeper now that they are part owners of the Toronto Tempo as well. Some really, really big things going on for the city of Toronto with Kyle Lowry. There is a day party, I believe, where he will be celebrated September 18th. I believe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe I saw September 18th. So look out for that. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm sure there will be a lot of players, media, and I'm sure other personnel, staff from probably different teams, players all over the league, and all that kind of stuff as well. So that should be interesting and pretty cool coming up in September. And before I get out of here, I will get to some of your stuff here. Let me get to Mo first. Mo, what is going on, girl? Let me see what Mo is talking about here. Mo says, put yourself in Alex McKechnie's shoes, Joe. 59 games with Kawhi on Clippers. I'm a mixed bag with him being back. You, and if he doesn't help us win another championship. Well, Mo, that's the thing, right? Even when you bring him in the first time, and I understand obviously he's older now, clearly, but it's about risk, high reward moves. And sometimes that's what the risk is about. But you take this risk because you have another guy like Scotty Barnes, like a CMB, and you don't have to put him to guard the toughest player on the other team on any given night, right? So that was important when Kawhi was here the first time as a Raptor, all that load management and all that kind of stuff as well. So I do hear you on that. AshYI4TW says, hello, I've been waiting for this episode. Well, wait no more, damn it. It is here. Chris Meyer says, Grote. Hope he is here as a mentor to our young guys. I hope so as well. You know, I'm not really sure how that would work out. I know he's going to be doing some stuff in the broadcasting realm, I believe, in media. So that should be very interesting to see, but I'm sure he's going to hold the city and the team in a high regard whenever he is on television talking hoops. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love the Kyle Lowry press conference. Glad you did. What a day, says super fan Mo Official. He was the newest owner of the Toronto Tempo, Chris. Yes. Johnny Stevens says, sup, Mike? Johnny Stevens from the old FedEx. What's happening, brother? The claw is back, and glad to see that the number 7 goes up in the Raptors. Johnny, what is going on, my man? Number 7 going up in the Raptors. That is going to be like we saw the celebration that Vince Carter got, right? When his jersey went up in the Raptors. Okay, we saw the celebration that Vince Carter got. Kyle Lowry's is going to be massive. And I absolutely mean massive. I mean, the amount of people that should be there to celebrate the Raptors, the jersey going up in the Raptors for Kyle Lowry is going to be something to behold and be absolutely incredible. Hope he can convince Bobby Webster to sign DeMar to this team. I got to do some talking about DeMar DeRozan coming back to this team. Not 100% sure how I feel about it. If he can come off the bench, obviously, and provide you with scoring there. Okay, clearly I can see that, right? And you're not going to be able to pay him a lot of money to do that as well. I don't know how many bucks he's going to want, so that'll be interesting to see as well. But I mean, if you're bringing him off the bench for minimum pay, and he can provide you with some good scoring off the bench, then, I mean, we can definitely talk about that. OVO Center was designed beautifully. Great place. Hope we get a big with a shot. I'm hoping for that as well. And there are so many things that we are going to have to discuss over these next couple weeks in regards to roster, what this thing is looking like, contenders. Can they contend currently right now as we speak? What's going to happen with DeMar DeRozan? Obviously, we know that Summer League is about to start, and we want to take a look at some of those players as well. But overall, don't get me sidetracked because this is what you guys do. Okay. This is about the greatest Raptor of all time, Kyle Lowry, and everything that he meant. DeMar, what up, Raptor champs? DeMar will be on the bench. Will he be ready for that? That's something we got to figure out. But before I get out of here, and which I'm about to, Kyle Lowry, like I mentioned, once again, the heart, the love, the effort, the passion, the grit, the resistance, the willingness to do whatever it takes. Being able to get over that issue with trading DeMar DeRozan, which is a tough thing to do, right? Because at the end of the day, you got to do what is in the best interest of the organization. So I do remember, Masai Ujiri telling that story of having to make that call and how pissed that Kyle Lowry was when he found out that it happens. But it all worked out, luckily. Luckily, you see, you got to do the right things. Luck is a part of it for everybody who doesn't know. You got to put yourself in position so that when luck is a part of it, you can capitalize. And that is something that happened with the Raptors in 2018, 2019. But the heart, the love, the passion, the leadership, that's what it was. That's what I think about when I think about Kyle Lowry. And I will say this as the last part. One thing that I will say about Kyle Lowry that he has never done to myself, he's never done to any of you watching this, anybody who's ever watched the Raptors in the playoffs, regular season, I don't even care if it's an exhibition game. Kyle Lowry, hold on. Let me put on the damn hardware when I say this, please. Kyle Lowry has never, and I mean never, cheated the game. He has never cheated the game. He has never cheated himself, his teammates, the fans, anybody in this organization. When you don't cheat the game will not cheat you. When you don't shortcut the game will not shortcut you. I believe Michael Jordan did say that, didn't he? Damn it, he was right. He was right. You see, legacy matters. Legacy matters. This is why Kawhi Leonard is back in a Raptors uniform. Because legacy does matter. And you see, one of the big reasons, too, why Kawhi Leonard is back probably is in large part due to Kyle Lowry. If Kyle Lowry wasn't here and that leadership wasn't here, and you had somebody else there and Kawhi Leonard comes here and doesn't win a chip, he ain't coming back here. He ain't coming back. And so overall, not cheating the game himself, the effort, both ends of the floor, on and off. What have you heard anything? When have you heard anything crazy about Kyle Lowry off the court? Never. Never. Kyle Lowry. Now there was a mention of a statue. Should there be some type of Kyle Lowry statue? Or is statue just for dynasties? Like statues are for what, 2-3 rings maybe? No statue for one. What do you guys think? I mean, Kyle Lowry is he's a real one. Hall of Famer, legend. But our statues are for what? 2, 3 rings, maybe multiple. You got to win more than one for a statue. You guys can let me know. Anyway, overall, Kyle Lowry signs a 1-day deal to retire in Canada with the Toronto Raptors. And I, for one, am here for it. I am here for it. At Mike Roach 7 on IG, at Mike Roach 23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share the Mike Roach Show. Statue is a bit much for me, but jersey retirement for sure. I hear you. I'm not mad at that, Jonathan. I hear you. I think statue might be for multiple rings. Multiple rings. Like if I had 2 or 3 of these bad boys on, maybe we can go there, right? Maybe we can go there. But for one, I agree. Statue up in the rafters. It's officially Kyle Lowry Day, according to Mayor Olivia Chow, which is cool as well. So that's really cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be getting back to you for a few more podcasts that are going to be coming up this week with some really big things we got to talk about. And I'll give you a hint. When I do these next shows, it's going to look pretty damn different when I do these next couple shows. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about when those podcasts happen. So if you know anybody who would like this show, please share this show with them. Make sure you continue to get in the comments when the show is over, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. This is the Mike Roach Show. Make sure you're checking out Summer League. We'll talk about that as well, and some of the other things going on in and around the NBA. This is a Mike Roach Show. Thanks for joining me at such a random time during the day, but I'm out. Peace. Talk to you again soon.